Today we're going to be making a Kid Cudi type beat. I'm going to show you guys a lot of really crazy tricks and effects that you can use in Kid Cudi type beats or just any different type of beat in general. So let's get into it. I'm excited. So today we're going to be using a BPM of 120. 120 to 145 is pretty solid. We're going to go over the drums. The reason I want to start with them is because the drums for Kid Cudi beats are pretty unique and you want to use multiple kicks. That's what's going to get you the really unique, interesting drum bounce. So for these kicks, if you noticed, it's kind of got like a pulsing feel to it. And really the key for that, right here, it's like layering this drum right here, instantly makes this last kick hit a bit harder, which is gonna add some movement. Just playing with the velocities. This is done on tons of different Kid Cudi songs. And all the drums I'm using today are from my 8-bit drum kits and my drum kit Glitch. 8-bit drum kit is more so like real drums as well as some cool like bassline sounds. And then Glitch is like just a bunch of unique kind of drum sounds. And for the snares, you want something that's big, crunchy. Yeah, that's pretty much what you want. And I'm just layering some snares right here. Added this delay setting in thermal. You can really use any delay to do this. You'll just have to kind of play with the setting. Makes a massive difference with just that. And you're not gonna get that without throwing effects on your drums. So then just added some percussion drums. The more drums you use, the more interesting of like a drum sound you're going to get. So some good places right here is always a pretty good spot. And then if you look over here, basically you're doing the same thing. So rather than having the same drum hit right here, kind of changing it up, just add some bounce. And then if you just pick any third, it sounds good as well. Just have some risers and these transitions I use as kind of like FX. And so today I'm just gonna be using my new bank textures. It's got a lot of great synth sounds and guitar sounds. The sounds are all designed so you don't have to throw like a bunch of effects on them. It's also available as one shot. So if you don't have Analog Labs, you can still enjoy this bank. But first sound I'm using is a sound called Beauty in the Darkness, which you would think has a deep meaning, but I just thought it sounded cool as a sound name. Really for the chord progressions, pretty simple for Kid Cudi type beats. I built this chord, it's just a G minor 7th chord. And we drop this down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This just always works. Instead of having this note C right here, I just matched it up with this D right here, as there's a D in the other chord. And that always pretty much sounds good. And then from there, I kind of just built another chord off of this chord. I was like, okay, what notes maybe line up here? So we have this F lines up, and then we got an A right here, so this is looking like it could be a major chord. So then we add the C, this E, just because, you know, sounds good, 7th chord. And then for this one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We pretty much did the same thing that we did for this chord over here. Dropped it down 5 and then just lined up notes that were already in this chord. So in this case, the A and the C. Really that simple. And then from there, we started layering. And when you're layering sounds, you just want to look for sounds that fill in what the other sound is missing. So this was like a brighter synth pad, so I need something a bit darker. And so I used this sound called Black and White, which is also from my new bank textures, and just copied it over and put it on a lower octave. And that just makes a major difference right there. And then because these are both like pretty soft sounding synths, I wanted something that was a little bit more snappy at the beginning. This other sound from my bank, just called Evergreens. We're gonna start adding those counter melodies, those textures, and really take this thing to another level. So I got this dirty guitar right here. So this is as simple as possible in terms of a counter melody. I'm just going over notes in the chords, and then this is kind of an open space here, and I'll add some other sounds in a second. But really the key to get interesting like kind of counter melodies and just melodies in general is using a bunch of different sounds and slowly kind of putting them together. And in terms of effects, I'm just EQing out the low end at the moment. And then to really add some more like atmosphere and kind of texture to this beat, sound called Technicolor, and then this sound called Voodoo. So first thing I did was I just added some reverb to the sounds, make it more kind of spacey, ambient. Using this effect rack, which is just adding like a sweeping sound to the sound, make it feel like it's moving a bit more. Then I used Shaper Box, and this is just panning it. But the cool thing I did here was I used this on the other sound as well. I just kind of flipped it opposite. So whenever you're hearing one of the sounds in this ear, the other one kind of comes in the other ear, and then it just kind of rotates. And yeah, for this other sound, just follow Vintage Verb, Radiator, which is just like a distortion plugin, and then the Shaper Box like I mentioned. So let's hear it without any effects and then with. Now we throw effects on here. And this is to glue everything together. And then I'm just using the acid bass from my bank. Just put it on every root note.